Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Qistina Farisa binti Azmi and here is my group members, and today we will be presenting the report of the questionnaire that we did to our subject, Miss Nur Aqilah binti Azmi, for our final project, which is observation on development of bilingual English as a second language. Our subject is full name is Nur Aqilah binti Azmi. She is 25 years old and she have 4 siblings, and she are the second child from the siblings, and she works as admin coordinator in Johnson & Johnson company. She get her education from primary to secondary school in Methodist school, and she further her study in College Marabanting in engineering course, and after that he continue her study in degree in psychology at University of Nottingham, Semanye. Her primary language is Bahasa Melayu, and the second language is English, because she was surrounded by people who talk English since primary school and until she at works right now, right?
So I'm going to start by talking about the background of this interview. So she said that she enjoyed to learn English and language basically, and that is a very good thing because interest can help you to improve your English, because in order to get the knowledge you need to search more and more into it, the grammar and the rules and everything. So you need to have interest in order to learn about this language. So what influenced her to speak the way she speaks? She answered that it is essential in the university, it is essential for the student to speak English. So she started to talk English more frequently because of that. And let's move on to the first question, which is, when did you start speaking English? So this interviewee answered that during primary school she did start to learn the language, but she didn't speak this language as often. She didn't use it as much. So it started when they were in university, which, as I have said earlier, that it is required for her to use English. So that is when she started to use the language more often. So second question, is she comfortable with this language? And the answer is yes, she is comfortable with this language. And I think the reason is because she had used this language, she had practiced to use this language more often, which caused her to be more comfortable in speaking the language.
The third question, which says that whether she learned it in her early age or she was exposed to it during she just started school. She said herself that she learned it in early age, which for a child development itself, it is good to learn in early age, which when it comes to a country that has English not as their first language, it is compulsory, and it is the need for even for today's child. An early age education is way much better rather than they learn it during their primary school. This will make their thinking and their vocabulary, grammars much more wider if they learn it in their early age. For the fourth question, whether that says that if she learned it in her early age, what is the factor that makes her want to learn the language? She says herself that she learned it through video games and her surrounding that helps her speaks more English, expose herself to more English, is when she entered the international university. And I think the surrounding itself helps her, makes her became more, how can I say, maybe more bilingual to English and Malay itself, even though somehow she speaks mixed language like Malay and English at the same time. It shows that she knows what she wants to say, and it happens that she understand how to communicate, and her grammar vocabulary was so well, even though it is not a Native American essence, it is still good.
Everyone, so for today I will be explaining question number 5 until question number 8 for the interview, for the observations on the interview. Okay, question number 5. If you start learning later, did you find it easily or difficult to master the language? Okay, my answer could be that on my observations on the video, it seems like the speaker would be easy to learn the language, but since she said that to speak it is hard, yeah, it is hard for her to speak in English if she learned later, but to learn it is easy. Okay, according to Johnson report, you will achieve fluently in your target language if you were immersed in a language at the prior age of 7. Okay, so for the question number 6, does the speaker is comfortable to express opinion in English? So my answer could be, in their interview, the speaker said it is yes. She comfortable to speak to express opinion in English, since she usually pray using English language. Okay. So according to question, when you are having high motivation and less anxiety, you will be equipped success in that language acquired, which is she will manage to express her own opinion in English, just like how the speaker use English whenever she wants to give the prayer. Okay. For the question number 7, do you find it difficult to speak in English? From the observation, the speaker said yes, it is hard. It is difficult for her to speak in English. She said that to learn English, it is quite easy if you keep learning on it. But to speak in English, to have a daily communication like that, it is hard. Like if someone asks you something, sometimes maybe for her it is hard to speak in English fluently and suddenly like that. Okay. To learn in English is easy, but to speak it was hard, and that is right. So that is why to speak in English you need to be comfortable to surround yourself in someone who always speak in English, like daily communicate, something like that. Okay. Just like the speakers, she is directly surround herself and try to communicate in English, since she is in an international university, which is need she to speak in English daily, because it is an international university where have a lot of international students. So the last question number 8. Can you speak fluently in English if you were asked to? So the speaker said it is not easy to speak in English, and she is not the type that could fluently to directly speak in English. Okay, so in language acquisition, if you tend to use to communicate anywhere you could learn the language, all of the things you said will be highly memorized, and it will be easy for you to use it often because you memorize the things, you usually use that language. So that is why. And that is why if you were learn the language since you were kids, it will be easy to speak because you already memorized all of the things that you learn from kids. And it makes easy for you to fluently to speak in English. So that is why that is why it is good for you to fluently speak in English since you're a kid. That's all for me. Bye.
Hi, my name is Nur Qistina Farisa. I'm going to conclude question 9 and 10. The 9th question is, do you think English is a difficult language to learn? As what she told in the interview, she is excited when it comes to the language, and the person said that it was not that hard or difficult to learn English. As what I can conclude from here is, it could be that she is interesting and very excited when it comes to language. It could be anything, any language. Because she also stated in the video she loves to learn other language like Japanese, Arabic, and Korean. She finds it very interesting to develop more about other language. And seems like she is exposed to the language through her environment. What I can relate based on my study is the theory of FLA in behavioristic approach. Exposure can be coupled with the behavioristic learning model, which is stimulus response reinforcement. Reinforcement is important for each step of the language because it helps to shape our knowledge about language that he can use for his daily communication. And for the last question, is learning English can make you develop more in ways of thinking out of the box? She told in the video she took psychology and find out that by learning English not just boosts her mental skills but of course the productivity of work. By learning a new language, we got a lot of content and feel the difference of some environment, but also get to know other culture. If you want to learn English language, you will have to communicate daily with the community that use English in daily communication. In this way, you can gain a lot of new words and vocabulary, or even correcting your grammar structure. That's all from me and my team for the assignment to Principles of English Second Language. Thank you.